Here's another business bite on keeping marketing simple. And the last two sessions I talked about this marketing pie chart with the core idea in the middle and sending that out to everything you do. The next step that people have in this whole area is they think they're doing their marketing very well, they're communicating. So I suggest, why don't you get out everything that you do? You print off your stationery, you print off your website, you take photos of your signage if you have vans or on a building, you get scripts with their radio commercials or television commercials, you get copies of your print ads, you just get leaflets, everything that you do, banners out, put it on the floor and say, what message are we sending out? It's interesting, I had one business ring me and say, we did what you suggested and we realised we're spending all this money, but our messages are so confusing out to the marketplace, actually don't know what we stand for or what we're selling. So it's one way to get it all together. And they said, what do we do? And I said, well, fine, ad agency, depending on the size and what you spend, or a designer or someone who's really good who can bring this together and create a core message. But I've also going to share now 8 questions you should ask yourself before you brief for any marketing at all. You've got to get these clear in your head, then you'll get some effective communication. And the first one of these is, what is the role of the advertising? In one sentence, is the advertising trying to do for the brand? In one sentence, what is the advertising trying to do for the brand? Number 2, the target market. Describe the typical person. Well, you might say, I want to reach everyone. Well, that's very expensive. And there are different groups of people today who think differently, have different interests, and and how they buy, what they want to do, where they want to go. So you need to target specifically, and then you're going to be more effective, and it's going to be less costly to reach the right people to be effective. And certainly with web marketing today, it's more about not reaching everyone, but actually what they call retargeting to the right people. Third thing in this brief, before you get any marketing, is consumer insight. How do they currently feel about your brand and category? Well, they may never heard of you. They may think it doesn't deliver. They may think it's a poor response when they have questions or issues. Therefore, they might need a guarantee. But how do they currently feel? And some of it might be just guesswork, but generally most people have a good idea if there is a negative reaction. And these day and age with social media, you can pretty well get a good hint about the product or service. Number 4, what is the advertising opportunity? How can the advertising make the brand more desirable? Number 5, the promise. What is the one single thought or idea that the creative should start from? If you go back to my previous 2 business bites on marketing, I talk about that core idea or unique selling proposition. That's probably a good place to start. And if there's nothing in your product or service or business, then you'll need someone creatively to come up with a marketing difference to make you stand out from everyone else. Number 6 question, support. What emotional, rational support can make the promise believable? You'll notice toothpaste or toothbrushes or pharmaceutical products being advertised often have someone standing there in a white coat. That's representing a doctor or a scientist or something like that. They may not be, they're just actors, but that gives a visual endorsement. Swimming pool companies just don't show swimming pools with no one in them because that's boring, but they actually show a family jumping around and enjoying in the pool because people will get a pool because they think family life will be different. Well, it's not going to be just having a pool, but people buy that idea from a perception point of view. So what is the support that goes with that? Number 7, what is the desired consumer response or result that you want from your marketing? Whether it's a business, you want the phone to ring, do you want them to contact you via email, you want them to engage with you, or in a consumer sense, that could be still the same via online, but it could also, you want them to go to a retail store or to your store to buy the product. So the desired consumer result, how do you want people to think or feel as a result of your advertising? You should write this in plain language and in the first person. And then the last thing, question 8, which is important, mandatories. Are there any musts or must nots? Because when you get to financial advertising, health issues, medical type products, and there are many others. There's a lot of legislation. So there are certain things you can say and can't say, and they're going to be really important under that area. And there'll be certain things that you're part of an international brand that you must make sure is included in the advertising as part of the ownership of that brand. They issue that under their brand guidelines. So they're the 8 questions. I hope that that's been some help, and you can add your own questions to that, but I believe you keep it simple and down to these questions, you'll get some effective marketing. Thank you once again.